Well, to be honest, I never really know how to start these videos. What do I say? Hello? Hi? How's it going? Hey guys? Hey girls? Hey world? I just don't know. You know, as soon as I brought the camera downstairs to do this, I was sitting there and I was trying to figure out, what do I say? What do I say when I begin? Let me just see if this is in focus. There we go. Yeah, so what do I say? Anyways, another realization today, and the one that's a little bit painful, I guess, in a certain way. There's a next generation in charge. You know, everywhere you go these days, especially in the medical field, there seem to be some very young people, very young doctors. I remember when I was in the hospital, the guy that came over when I was lying there in emergency, he looked like he was about 12. And it is so strange when you get to a certain age, you realize that your generation is somewhat fading out of the picture, I guess. You know, I had to get my blood taken today again. You know, that's another thing when you get older. I think you know, you go to the doctor and every time you go with your little, are we here and pain there? You know, it's always like, well, you know, let's do a blood test, and then something else shows up like high cholesterol. So you got to take a pill for that, but it makes your bones hurt. And it's a constant go. But you know what I noticed? So when I got up this morning, I was feeling all right. I was feeling okay. My sleep wasn't great, but that's something that I don't even want to mention anymore to anybody, because I sleep terrible. And I think it has to do with, you know, 35 years of shift work, hopping time zones, and just, you know, working nights, working days, working late afternoons, switching over to 4 a.m. check-ins. And so my sleep pattern is really messed up. It's something that I'm trying to get under control by going to bed at a certain time, doing a certain thing, getting a certain routine. It seems to be not working. So I'll just keep experimenting with that. So anyways, I come downstairs and I run into my son, and he is super negative, super quiet, just, you know. And I wanted to ask, hey man, what has been going on for the last couple of days? But I didn't, because last time I did that, we got into a little bit of an argument. I wouldn't call it an argument. I was more calling it a conversation. And it basically started by me saying, hey man, are you okay? And he just looked at me and said, well, you wouldn't understand. And that really triggered me. Because at that age, nobody would really ask me that, hey, are you okay? I don't think my parents ever asked me that, even though I was at that same stage. And my siblings did, nobody did. Like I was in this dark world, as you know, teenagers get into it as well as adults, I guess. But nobody ever asked me, hey, are you okay? So I felt a little bit upset that he said that. Why are you asking me that? And then the second one was, you wouldn't understand. You would not understand. And that, you know, again, that one was a little bit over the edge for me, because I've been there. And I really try to have open communication with my kids. I really try not to be... It's a very fine line with me between being a friend and being a father. And as for anybody that has raised kids or will raise kids, that is such a fine line. You can't be both. Honestly, you have to be the father figure more than anything, I think, especially when they're younger. You need some sort of a discipline in your life. So I thought we were kind of done with that I could be more of a buddy. But I guess I still have to be a little bit of a father too. So again, I'm struggling with that. But I came to the conclusion that, you know what, that's enough. And I didn't unload on him, but I said, listen, I just, you know what, I was young once. I know what you're going through. And for you to say that you think that I don't understand, that is to me hurtful. And I think he got it at that point, that I was really just trying to help. But then this morning, that really didn't work either. So I kind of decided this morning not to go there. I said, hey, how's it going? Okay, good. Wow. Okay, well, if you want to talk, I'm here. That's all I said. And I get it. There's things you don't want to talk to your dad about. Hey, man, I'm there. I couldn't talk to my parents. My dad was one of those people that I could talk to him later as I was an adult. But when I was a kid and needed help, I would have gone to my mother. And even my mother had certain walls that I just didn't want to break through or feel comfortable talking to her. She was there. She would have talked to me, but I just couldn't. So I'm trying to remember what he's going through. And we'll talk about my parents another day. Very interesting lives. I could probably spend days on them, weeks on talking about them, but we're just getting started. So yeah, anyway, so that was my morning. And then I go, oh crap, I was supposed to get a blood test last week. And as I drive my wife to the SkyTrain, she's like, are you gonna get that plus? Yeah, I'm getting it. I got the paperwork right here. So I go to the lab, didn't make an appointment. Of course, there's a huge lineup, and I'm just standing there going, do I really want to line up for this? I'm not in the mood. I don't want to do this. And then I realize, well, it's late. I was supposed to do this last week. I got to see the doctor on Monday, so I better gonna have to line up for this. And as I come around the corner, I literally walk into the building, into the office. And all I hear is, there's a lineup. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I've done it. I've become one of those people, I realized there was actually a line around the corner that I didn't see. I only saw inside of the lab and every seat was taken. So I'm like, okay, well, it didn't even occur to me that there might be more of a lineup outside of the corner, and anyways, I felt bad. So I go, excuse me, and sorry, I'm sorry. And, I walk of shame to the end of the line. So I'm standing there. It took I would say about 45 minutes to get into the office. You give your paperwork and your ID and everything. And as I do that, I see this guy literally just walking in. He cut the line, and I wanted to unload on him. And go, listen, there's a lineup. And because I saw it out of the corner of my eye, he just came in and I was going to say something. And then I went, you know what? This is not my fight. This is not my job to do this. Before I would have done that, a couple of weeks ago, I would have said, excuse me, there's a line. I've done it lots. When people cut in line, I hate it. I hate it. I don't think anybody should ever cut in line. But since I did it this morning by mistake, I realized that, when you get a little bit older, you get a little bit funny in your head. And I think things are not as obvious as they are when you were young. So I decided, you know what? And it wasn't even the thought at the time. I just didn't feel like saying, hey, there's a lineup. And somebody else did, and he walked out and stood in line. But I just didn't feel like getting into that situation. Maybe because I just cut in line by mistake and I didn't want to feel him as stupid as I did. Or was it the fact that I'm just older and saying, que sera, sera, man. This is what it is, right? And in case you guys don't know what que sera, sera means, there was a big song, oh my God, in the 60s. It just means, what in modern terms, it means just let it slide, I guess. That's life. I have to look that up, what it actually means. But yeah, so that was that. I get in there, like I said, paperwork, yada yada, and I really feel the pain of the people working in the blood lab because, man, it is busy. Everybody is scared. Everybody is. It's just not a happy place you would want to go out, hang out on the day off, right? So it's a bit tense in there, anyway. So they call my name. I go up. I sit in the chair, and a very nice lady comes in, and she is just pissy. She wouldn't even say hi. She goes, what's your birthday? What's your name? Yeah, okay. Which arm? And I'm like just sitting there going, oh, this is going to go great, man. I'm going to be her victim, And so I'm sitting there going, oh, wow. All right, well, take the right arm today. Why not? The other one's been overused lately. And so she brings this syringe out or whatever it is, takes my blood. No pain. It was just a little pinch. And I looked at her when she was done and I say, thank you so much. That didn't hurt at all. You great at your job. And you should have seen her smile. Her smile was from here to Los Angeles and back. It's probably the first time in a long time that she heard, wow, you're doing your job great. and literally she just lit up. And I wasn't feeling well all day, to be honest, with everything that happened. But when I saw her smile and realized that I just brought her joy, it kind of made my day a little bit better, to be honest. I walked out of there with my patch on my arm, and I decided to go home, and I was going to go grocery shopping. Didn't really feel like it, so I just did it earlier. Like, I just came in from grocery shopping, so I got home. I just lied down for a bit. I tried to sleep, couldn't sleep. Just that nervous humming in your head when everything goes bzzz. I don't know if you guys know that feeling. So I got up, went downstairs, watched a little bit of Naked and Afraid, which seems to be my favorite show lately. And and then I just thought about what happened. And because we talked about bringing joy to somebody yesterday, and I didn't say that because I went, ooh, I gotta bring this person joy. I said it because I was scared, because the way she came, the way she approached me, the way she just didn't want to have a conversation. She just wanted to take my blood and get me out of there. And I get it, it's busy and everything like that, but I go to the same lab all the time. It's always the different people, and she was just not in a good place, I guess. So what I'm trying to say is, make a compliment to somebody once a day. Maybe that's something we can make a pact, or we can try to do at least, if they appreciate it or not. That's a whole different topic. But it did make her day. Like I said, her smile at me it just was genuine. It was a real smile. It wasn't a fake. And she just was very happy that somebody said, oh, wow, you did a great job. That didn't hurt. Maybe she doesn't hear it. Maybe she never hears it. But I said it, and it made her day, I think. Now, the thing about bringing joy to somebody and being kind is a two-sided blade, because usually I'm still one of those old generation guys that holds the door open for somebody. Like, if I'm going inside of an office and there's somebody behind me, I'll hold the door open and I go ahead. Or, you're going into the mall, wherever you're going, you're holding a door. And most of them are automatic now, but, you hold the door open and go, okay, go ahead, right? Most people don't say anything. There's no thank you or wow, nothing. It's almost like they're expecting you to do that. And that used to trigger me as well. And I would say, wow, thank you would have been nice. Just about loud enough that they hear it. Or I would say, what else did I used to say? Wow. Just wow, just they didn't say anything. I made the effort to hold the door open, and now I have to stick in that needle and say, wow, that wasn't kind of you not to say thank you. As I, thought about this, so my kindness was not appreciated at that point. So they just went in the door and didn't say thank you. Would they hold the door open for me? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But after a while, I realized I'm not holding the door open to get a thank you from anybody. I'm holding the door open because that's how I was taught. And that brings me a certain amount of joy to hold the door open. If these people react or not, has nothing to do with anything. That's their problem. I was there to hold that door open for them. I let them, I let them in, but I don't have to get a thank you for doing that. If these people want to say thank you, great, bonus points. But if they don't, I am not upset anymore. I'm not freaking out. I'm not saying anything. I'm just like, wow, you know what? In my head, I just go, wow, okay, well, I did a kind thing today. I wanted to make somebody smile, or I wanted to bring, always coming back to the topic. I want to bring somebody joy because I don't feel joy in the condition that I'm in. So I'm really trying to give people joy so it comes back to me. And the problem is, like I said, in that situation, the joy does not come back to me. But I've done a joyous thing. So that's the way I have to think about it. I have to think about, what? I held the door open for somebody. That brings me joy. If it comes back or not, that's their problem. It's like giving somebody a gift and they don't appreciate it. Man, that hurts. Oh, God, I've done that so many times. I go out of my way to get somebody something, and they just go, oh, wow, thanks. And that's it. That's it. No, like, wow, that's a cool book or a cool record. We used to buy records. I know you guys probably don't know what that is. Vinyl, yes. We used to buy vinyl for each other. The latest whatever, Bon Jovi, I just realized that Born in the USA, Bruce Springsteen, is about 40 years ago that he released that album. I think it was 40 years yesterday. I don't know where I've been, but man, it seems like yesterday. I still listen to The Boss all the time. And that is probably one of my favorite records, Dancing in the Dark. I can always jam out to that. And so anyways, 40 years later, it has brought me joy for 40 years. So now I forgot what I was saying. What were we talking about anyways? Oh, the door. Yeah, so there you go. Hold the door open for somebody. They don't appreciate it. That's not your problem. Giving somebody a present, they say thank you, and you never hear from them again. That's not your problem. Because you had that present, you went out of your way to get that present, you have that present in your hand. The moment you give it to somebody, it is not yours anymore, it's theirs. You had the joy of giving the present to somebody, now you have to let that go. If you get a reaction, a big one that you expected, because when you give somebody a present, you expect something back. You expect this humongous appreciation, well, at least I used to. And then somebody says, oh, wow, thanks, man. And you never hear from it again. Oh, what great book, great record, nothing, right? And it used to make me really upset. It was like, wow, they don't appreciate what I did for them. But that's not the point. The point is you went out, you took your time, and you had a certain amount of joy to get that present for them. And then you wrapped it, you brought it to them, you gave it to them, and it was a joyous occasion for you. You're smiling, go, hey man, here it is, right? And they're just like, but the thing has left your hands. It is not yours anymore. You didn't buy the record for you. You didn't buy the book for you. You bought it for them. So the moment you hand it off to that person and go, here it is, you end your joy right there. Your joy is your joy, and now the joy has orgasmed. That's it. I can't think of another word. Now the joy has reached the top of it and exploded and is with the other person. Now, if they're ready to receive that or not, that's not your problem anymore. It never was. It's there now. So what I'm trying to say is, again, today I made a compliment. She smiled. That made me semi-happy for 1 second. I went, wow, that's great. She's happy. On the other hand, if she didn't smile, I think my first reaction was, man, I'm an idiot for saying that. I think that would have been my first reaction. When you give somebody a compliment and it doesn't do anything, I feel extremely ashamed. I feel stupid. I feel like, oh wow, I made a real fool out of myself again, didn't I? And I'm trying to fight that because that is not the right way of thinking. It is not the right way of thinking for two reasons. Again, you had a good intention. The intention was let go to that person to say, hey, you're beautiful, you did a good job. So that is done. How the person receives that is not up to you. The other thing, what I realized is I just said something bad about myself. I felt stupid or I don't feel good. And I'm really, honestly trying not to do that anymore. It is the worst thing you can do to yourself is saying I'm stupid or I'm ugly or I'm fat or I'm not this, I'm not that. You are what you are, but you can always change. That is a big difference. If you fall into that trap of believing you're stupid, well, eventually you're going to start believing that. And what does that mean? Is you're going to put yourself down, you're going to lose self-respect, and you are not going to be able to achieve the things you were meant to achieve. I truly believe that because I've been there. I used to be bullied in class. I was the smallest kid with the crooked teeth and the big glasses. And one thing I will always fight for is somebody that gets bullied. Bullying is the worst thing in the world, and I will always stand up for somebody that gets bullied every time. So when you start believing what a bully says to you or anybody says to you that's negative and you repeat that into your mind, which we all do, guaranteed, you start believing it. But it's not true. So the trick to it, apparently, what I need to learn is never talk negative about yourself. To yourself or other people. Now think about that. Never say to anybody, wow, I'm stupid, or wow, how can I make such a stupid mistake, or I'm really ugly, eh? And stuff like that is just putting yourself down, and we don't need to do that. We need to believe in ourselves. We need to learn how to trust ourselves, and we really, really, really need to learn how to love ourselves. And that is hard. I get that it's not an easy thing to go, I love myself so much every day. I know. Yeah. I have a friend of mine a long time ago. I don't even know where he is. He used to stand in front of the mirror and goes, I look good. This is a nice shirt. And he used to do that every morning. I thought the guy was insane. You know, he goes, I look good. My hair's perfect today. The shirt is a sexy shirt. And then he went out and had a great day. I don't know where he is. I would love to talk to him. And this is, we were in university, and one thing I have to say, man, he did well with, you know, the opposite sex. He had this self-confidence that, and this is not what I'm saying that this is all about that, but he had a certain confidence about himself that people just felt drawn to him. But that confidence he wasn't born with that. That didn't come from somewhere. He made his confidence by complimenting himself in front of a mirror every day. And this is something I'm going to try to work on. Maybe I can film it one day how I stand there and I'm just going to go, sexy. You are sexy. I don't know how I'll do it, but we'll find out in the next little while, I guess. So anyways, guys, I got to run. It's been a pleasure talking to you again. I will not say goodbye, but we always say, see you later. And that did not turn off.